Hey everyone, this is Stephen. It's the 25th of January and we're nearly at the end of January already. Business is really picking up here. We haven't stopped at Flowxo and everyone's talking chatbots. Today I'm going to show you how to build out your very own chatbot, get your own chatbot in place and let it help you make more sales and cut down on customer service people hours in 2017. So, an official welcome to Flowxo's Getting Started webcast, where we'll get you up and running with Flowxo with an introduction to its key features and benefits, specifically in relation to its broadcast service for marketing, its messaging service for contacting human agents in real time. That one's really important, human augmenting your bot for maximum effectiveness, and how to collect data through a conversational form. We'll be looking at launching a bot on Facebook Messenger and then launching access to the same bot as a custom widget on your website, as well as providing a full-fledged messenger directly embedded in your own website or landing page. You'll see the core strength of Flowxo is our cross-platform focus, where the web messenger is an extension of other messaging platforms that are out there. You just need to build a bot once and you'll have it present everywhere. If there's anything specific you'd like to see today, drop a note into live chat. I'll try and pick up on that at the end, or put some notes in our community, and if you haven't been there, I'll give you a link for that at the end as well. Okay, so by this point, you'll have signed up for Flowxo, you'll have a Flowxo account, and you'll have connected your messenger bot. Let us know if you're having any trouble with that, either right now in live chat, pass the note in our community. Some of the rest of the team here are on live chat to help you out. Just a quick reminder, what is Flowxo? Well, first of all, it's the future of business messaging. And if I move just to the left a little bit, you'll be able to see that right behind me, so it must be true. But in more direct terms, Flowxo is a complete platform for building, hosting, and managing chatbots for messaging platforms such as Messenger, Slack, and Telegram. It includes a visual editor to build bots without code. Everything is driven by a set of flows which you build out with certain tasks. You can create and distribute your own bots, which are owned and branded by you, but controlled and hosted by Flowxo. I'm running this cast live so that I can maximize your time and provide everything you need to get started right in this session. Let us solve any queries or give any guidance you need right away. Again, there's live chat. Please do make use of that and talk to the team and I over on the right. So down to business, let's get over onto my desktop. So my example business today is the Mortgage Store, who are the home of the Mortgage Bot. The Mortgage Store is a typical mortgage broker who are regulated to advise customers on mortgage loans, and they have this Facebook page in place. They have a range of products available: first-time buyer, remortgage, buy-to-let or second home mortgages. And just a little bit more context, the Mortgage Store simply want to communicate with customers better, provide a more engaging experience, divert basic queries away from the resource-intensive phone line, and ultimately write more business. So if you got my email, you should have a bot in place by now, a messenger open and ready to go, as well as Google Sheets, Gmail, and of course Flowxo. Look at that setup a little bit closer in just a few minutes. But first, let's dive in and take a look at our bot in action. I'm going to launch him here so that you can see that clicking Get Started gives us some specific trigger to welcome new and first-time customers. So let's do that now. So here we are in Messenger. We'll click Get Started, and that's going to pass the Start keyword. And right away here, you can see that he's trying to get us on track by giving us some option buttons. He's trying to fulfill his purpose and direct customers to the things that he can help with right away. However, it's important that he can handle some basic conversation. So let's say hello. And you can see here, he responds, but he wants to get right to the point again. He greets us, but it's important that he gives us the menu so we can get back to the things that he can help us with and the customer doesn't get frustrated. However, I'm going to be a little bit mischievous. I'm more interested if he knows his name, so I'm going to ask him directly. If I can spell today. And you can see it can easily counter that too. He's constantly directing us back into the bot's purpose through the menu, which is the whole point of having the bot out there. It's really easy to set up this basic conversational small talk and capture any and all things that are thrown at the bot. We'll look at some flows in a moment so you can see how easy it was to put that together. Just a final try to stress this point before we move on. We'll ask him to tell us a joke. And you can see that's well handled again. We're not here to mess around, we're here to do business. So let's get on with it and click for the menu. So let's go back to our context. Let's assume here I'm in Messenger as a customer and I want an update on my mortgage enquiry. Whilst case updates could in fact be handled by the bot in entirety, I'm more interested in what the human broker has to say. I'm desperate to complete on my mortgage deal, so I'm going to select talk to a human, which is offered here. And unfortunately, you can see I've run into a bit of a problem. I've returned some standard small talk or helper text. Unfortunately, that's not a flow that's in place yet. Let's go and resolve that. So here we are at the flow dashboard. Just a quick shout out to what's going on over on the left here. There's a referral link. And if you encourage your friends to use the platform via social media, you can earn rewards in the way of extra interactions and bots or flows. You can see here I've also arranged my flows into folders, which is great for managing what the bot does and tweaking functionality, or for organizing flows for different events or for different customers. Now let's have a look at how easy it is to resolve our issue, speaking to a human agent. I just need to hit new flow, select the talk to a human template. I'll be told if there are any issues. We just need to edit this task. And I'm told there's a missing output here. So this is the address that I want to route the customer's message to the human agent at the mortgage store. And we'll turn that flow on. And this time, back in Messenger, when I ask to talk to a human, you can see that I'm taken through the flow that we've just installed from the template. I'd like an update on my case. Thanks, we'll get back to you in a few working hours. Now, if I go over to Gmail, so here I'm the agent, the human agent at the mortgage store. You can see here that the message is being routed directly through to me. By hitting reply, and clicking send, the message is routed directly back into Messenger, so the customer hasn't had to leave that interface, yet they've been able to speak to both the human and the bot in hybridized chat. So we've used Gmail there in that example. Importantly, I could have used Freshdesk, SalesforceDesk.com, Help Scout, any support or ticketing software where I can route emails. So you can see that in just a few minutes, minus my elaboration, we've got a fully human augmented bot in place by use of that FlowXO template. There are lots of other templates there to explore, and we'll be looking at least one more. So let's ask for the menu again. And whilst I'm waiting for the agent to come back to me as the customer, I'm now interested in getting a quote. I want to make sure that I've got the best possible deal before I commit to one. But you can see again here, unfortunately, I've got a problem. This is another flow that hasn't been built. Let's go and sort that out again. Now this time, slightly different. Rather than using a pre-existing flow, I'm going to build one out in entirety with you now. You can see here, I've just got the trigger in place. And the trigger for this flow is just the word quote that we're looking out for. I can turn the flow on at this stage, just so we're ready to go in a few minutes. And I can start building this flow out. We'll send a message first and foremost, just to keep the flow, the interaction with the customer engaging. Now, as I'm building this flow, you will see that I've got some pre-prepared text, but I'll explain everything as I go along. So we've sent a message there just to keep the interaction engaging and make sure the customer knows that we can respond right away. The next thing we're going to do is ask a question. And we'll say, I have your name down as, and now I'm going to use a FlowXO output. So I'm going to select the little FlowXO icon here on the right, and Facebook gives me the first name of the user directly from Facebook, so I can insert that as a FlowXO output here. And then we'll ask to take an email address. Now I can set some validation here to make sure that the customer's answer is an email. Then we'll ask a second question. We'll ask what the cell or mobile number is, and we can validate this as a number just to make sure we get something sensible back. We'll ask one final question. And this time we're going to ask something slightly more interesting. We're going to ask for the person's salary, so we'll also just put a little emoji in here just to make the message nice and friendly. We're going to validate as a number again. Then we're going to do something really interesting. We're going to use one of FlowXO's helper functions, one of the helper tasks. We're going to use the number service. So this is a utility function within FlowXO. I'm going to use the calculate action, and I'm going to take the answer again using the FlowXO output from the list generated by clicking the FlowXO icon. I want the answer to that last question that we asked about the salary, and I'm going to times it by 4.5, which is a typical mortgage lending criteria. Next, again, important to keep this interaction engaging. We'll send a message back to the customer right away. And again, just a little bit of pre-prepared text here. But in here, I need to put the result of our calculation. So again, just go into the outputs, and this time I want the result of the calculation operation. Now we're going to do two further things. We're going to use service integration, and then we're going to use the messaging service again, just because it's so important. So first of all, I'm going to use a Google Sheets integration. And I'm going to add a row. And I need to select a sheet from my connected account that I want to use. Now I want to use the leads marketing messages sheet, and the worksheet is new customer. Now, really important point here, you can see that I've generated some fields. The great news is that in my Google Sheet, it's exactly the fields that I have set up in my sheet. So FlowXO has recognized what my sheet looks like, and it's offered me all of those columns to be able to put data into directly inside the inputs that are generated here. And all I need to do is select again from the outputs what I want in each field. Facebook gives us the username. The email was the answer to our first question. The mobile was the answer to our second question. The salary was the answer to our third question. And the mortgage amount was the result of our calculation. I'll click next and save. And finally, just because this messaging service is so important for creating a great bot, I'm going to put it onto the end of this flow as well. And we're going to route this new hot lead that's asking for a quote directly through to an agent, a different agent, probably somebody who's dealing with quotes and responsible for closing deals. So I'm going to select the messaging service. We're going to send a message to email. And again, some pre-prepared text. And we just need to fill in, again, the name so the human agent can respond to this person by their name, and also the mortgage amount so we know the size of deal that we're discussing with a customer. Again, it's just the result of the calculation. So let's go ahead and run this flow. We turn the flow on, so back in Messenger, this time when I ask to get a quote, we'll give our mobile number. We'll give our salary. And you can see here, I've been given a calculation and been made an offer. Importantly now, two other things have happened. Firstly, we've created a new lead in our Google spreadsheet. And secondly, you can see here that I've had the message routed directly through to me. I can then respond again as the agent of the mortgage store. And that message is going to come directly back into Messenger in just a couple of moments. So you can see there, again, we've taken all the information from the customer, human augmented the bot at the end. There's the message that's just come through from the human advisor of the mortgage store. And we've also tracked that data through this conversational form. So we're doing all the things we would normally do in a web form, but we're doing it with a bot. The take-up is so much greater because the form's interactive and you can branch it so much easier than you can a typical web form. Okay, so now let's assume that I'm interested in getting some updates on mortgage products I might eventually want to purchase. I know that the interest rate moves around a lot. The quote wasn't quite to my liking. I'm not ready to dive in just yet, but I might like to revisit when rates are right for me. So let's subscribe to this bot's updates. And I'm asked which product I'd like to subscribe to regular offers on. I'm going to choose remortgage. And that's us signed up. So let's just take a quick look at how this flow was handled. It's a subscribe flow here that I'm interested in. And let's just look at this flow. So here we're triggering, as usual in FlowXO, we're triggering on the word subscribe. We're told here that it was triggered less than a minute ago, this flow. And if I go and have a quick look at the logs, I'll see exactly which data we triggered on. And all the rest of the interactions that the bot has had with the customer as well. So we've got full logging there. Next, we asked a question, what would you like to subscribe to? And the difference here is that we used a choice question type, so I was able to offer some choice question buttons rather than relying on free text input, as we saw in our previous flow. Next, I'm going to set an attribute. Attributes are really important for getting some fine control over your customers' interactions. Attributes can act like a counter, how many times somebody visited, or a flag, somebody said a specific word. It's a simple key value store in the background. It's important to note that these attributes specific to each customer, this response path dictates that specificity. They're available in the trigger. The attributes are available in the trigger of every flow, and that's important, you'll see in a couple of minutes, for that fine control, for that fine filtering. I have a broadcast flow set up here, and it's here that we're going to send out the marketing messages that we want to send to our customers from the mortgage store. Just an important note that this service sends to absolutely everyone that has the bot installed by default. This is great, of course. It's really powerful. One trigger, like an email, a webhook, or an RSS feed item being received, and all of our users and customers get the content. But we do need to make sure we make good use of FloatXO filters in order to segregate out our marketing and direct messages to relevant customers. So you can see here, as part of the broadcast service, I'm using a webhook. If you haven't used those before, don't worry. I've used it here to demonstrate how easy it is to get information into and out of FloatXO. From any web-connected app, you can trigger a workflow and use the data that's sent from the app to your flow, and therefore in conversation with customers. And you can webhook out too. You'll be glad to know, as I say, however, that you can also trigger with an email or by consuming an existing RSS feed. You might already have one on your site. So let's trigger this flow and see exactly what happens. First though, here are the filters. I'm looking at an output of product that's coming from my webhook, and the condition contains remortgage in the product value, and also that the attribute that we stored against the customer contains remortgage too. So we're interested in marketing messages we're going to send that are specifically about remortgages, and only to customers that are signed up and have expressed interest in being contacted about remortgage deals. Just going to send that in the background now, if you just give me a couple of moments. Pasting our webhook just into the browser. And you can see here my webhook has been received. I'll go to the logs. These are all customers that are subscribed but aren't interested in remortgages, so they've all been filtered out. But this one was completed successfully because we've just subscribed, and there's the offer that's come through to me. You can see I used send a card here rather than send a message. Send a card allows us to send that rich content rather than just a simple message. And in my webhook, so in the data that I sent to FloatXO, I was able to send an image through a URL and also any appropriate text. So you might have guessed that even better, if you don't want to use a webhook, you just want to use an RSS feed off your site that you've already got in place, you'll be glad to know that we have a template to handle subscribing to an RSS feed. So it's as simple as clicking New Flow, hitting Newsfeed here, turning it on, and right away my trigger by default is looking at the BBC News website here in the UK, and we're consuming brand new news stories that are arising. We're then going to send those items as a card again, and before the end of this cast I'm sure we'll see some news stories posted through to Messenger, probably about Donald Trump or about Brexit. So whilst we wait for those, let's just do a final review here. Just some finishing touches. Looking at our flows, when we first subscribed to the bot, we triggered the welcome and help flow. You can see here special things about this flow. Again, this is a template, so all you've got to do, one-click install and customize it to your requirements. But by a one-click, I was able to recognize the fact that we're starting the bot for the first time. This is a catch-all, and this catch-all looks for absolutely everything that's given to the bot that we don't understand. So if it's not triggering another flow, this catch-all is triggered. In my second task here, I'm using the code service. The code service is a powerful way to do, well, whatever it is you want, really. It can make requests to other apps or services that FlowXO doesn't support. Of course, we have just over 100 service integrations at the moment, but if we don't support a specific service integration, let us know, because we can probably accomplish an integration with the code service. We can perform custom manipulations or calculations on data, and we can use that output in conversation with the customer. So we've used a really simple example here, but the options are limitless. If you want to interact with your CRM, your calling or dialer system, or any other web connected app, you can do it with this service. Be sure to talk to us about that one, see how you can get the best out of it. And you can see in the rest of the flow here, I'm countering the case where on the first connection we pass that keyword start, and I'm giving a specific message back, and the rest of these actions, show the bots menu, is when we don't understand the specific word or phrase. The catch-all catches the phrase that we didn't understand, and we direct the user back to our menu. Other flows here, I promised we'd take a look at the small talk flow. So this is a longer flow. There's lots and lots of actions in here to capture lots of different potential cases. Tell me a joke, hello, how are you? You'll be glad to know, again, that's a template. So all you've got to do is one click install, 10 seconds, and your bot's up and running and ready to respond to all the common things that people come and say to a bot. You can see here that I've taken advantage of grouping certain words and phrases. That makes it really easy to filter our responses later on in this flow. You can add as many more words and phrases as you like to this list. And then just running down the flow, all I'm doing is filtering out based on those groups of potential introductory statements. So you can see here, I'm going to say hello there in response to any greeting that the user gives me, that the customer gives me. Okay, so there we have our bot launched on Messenger. It's up and running, it's giving a quote, it's directing us to a human where human help's required, it's allowing us to subscribe to updates. It's a really good bot. Already, in about 20 minutes, we've got that up and running. It'll take you even less if you're not listening to me and just getting it up and running yourself. So now that it's on Messenger, let's have a look at another important FlowXO feature, which is the fact that we are platform agnostic. So now we've developed all that logic, we've built all that logic in for our bot. Now we're ready to put it elsewhere. We'd like to get it onto our website. So first, we will set up a widget. We're going to click Create Widget here. And you can see it's the mortgage bot we're interested in. All you need to do is click Get Code. You might want to pass this to your web developer if you're not a developer yourself. One tiny little bit of code. All he's got to do is put that into your website code. And you can see here I'm giving an example what it would look like. So this will appear directly on your website. And I'm given an option just to click and go directly to the bot. So that'll open the mortgage store bot, as we saw a few minutes ago, directly in Messenger. Slightly more exciting, if I create a brand new bot, I can use the web messenger to completely embed this inside my website. So we'll call it the mortgage bot. I can upload a custom icon if I like. As you can see here, slightly more code, but the same principle. All I need to do is put it into my website, about 30 seconds work. And this time, when I hit Try Me, we're in a development environment here. Obviously, we're just trying it out, so it's going to be a little bit longer to load. You can see here's the exact same bot that we were looking at in Messenger, but this time it's on my website. It's directly integrated in my website. So that can go anywhere. It could go in some video content. It could go on a landing page on your main website, wherever you're hosting some HTML. And I can go and I can do all the things that I was doing inside Messenger. I can go get a quote in this example. So here you can see we've got the basis of a really good bot. It's well distributed, it's lots of functionality. We've got marketing functions in place with the broadcast service. We're able to point out options to brand new customers right away and respond when we don't understand a particular message with some small talk. We've also looked at data collection and configuring human interaction directly through the bot with the messaging service. They're both very powerful customer service and sales tools. So this is it, crunch time. I hope you've seen how easy it is to get started and you have some of your own ideas about what you build next. Here's what FlowXO pricing looks like. For only $19 a month, you can build 15 bots or flows and accommodate 5,000 interactions. There's no contract or time period, and you can downgrade to a free plan at any time, so you can completely de-risk your bot launch. Because you have been kind enough to watch today, I am going to make you a special offer too. To get all of the flows that we've looked at today in place and run the same bot, you will need more than the five flows that we've looked at from templates. You'll need to build the custom ones as well. So to get you started, I'd like to make you an offer today of a month entirely free to completely de-risk your bot launch. First of all, there's the shared flows and the Google Sheet that you'll need to get started. And secondly, if you use the coupon code FREE0417 when you sign up, you'll get a month absolutely free. Again, you can downgrade at any point, so you can completely de-risk your bot launch here. Just a little bit of extra news this week. If you do use that coupon code right now, I'll also throw in a 15-minute Skype call within the next 7 days to really get you up and running with the bot. So use the coupon, send me an email, we'll get on Skype and we'll build out your bot in 15 minutes to your specification. I'm not going to offer that very often, but I'm hoping to get some really great bots launched at the start of 2017 and really get some good case studies out there. Don't forget, this video is going to be online for a short while later, so you can get those links if you need them. Finally, just whilst we're on my desktop, a few resources to be aware of. We have extensive help docs at support.flowxo.com. We've got a lively community where you can talk to other users, as well as the support team here at community.flowxo.com. And we have a constructive blog where we build out use cases. Hopefully, I'll be able to add one or two of your use cases into here before too long. You can get that at medium.com/flowxo. So thanks for watching, everyone. I've really enjoyed building out that bot with you today. Please get signed up and tell me more about your use case. I'm going to be over on live chat in a few minutes. I'd be delighted to help you get started building out. I will be running this session weekly, so feel free to come and watch again if you like. The core content won't change, but if you have a specific case, perhaps we can build that into the session. I am going to be running another video series starting in February, where I'm going to be reviewing bots that are released every week, or perhaps every day. I hope that more bots are going to be released in 2017. The velocity should increase. So make sure you hit that subscribe button to keep up to date with all the new bots that are released around the world, as well as hints and tips for FlowXO. So get in touch. I'd love to hear from you. Remember, if you use that coupon today, we'll get a 15-minute call booked in and get your bot up and running. See you all soon.